So can the White House just tell and assure Americans today that there's not going to be a recession?
Well, there's a lot to unpack there. So let me start by saying that, first of all, when it comes to the stock market, the numbers that we see today, the numbers we saw yesterday, the numbers we'll see tomorrow are a snapshot of a moment in time. And as President Trump has said, and I'm here to echo the remarks of this president of this White House, we are in a period of economic transition.
That's propaganda Barbie. She lies for tiny fingers, but what that really means is she lies to America, which means she lies to you. And in the middle of this financial Armageddon, a little truth could really help, but don't hold your breath.
Maggie.
Caroline, thanks. Does the president endorse something that Howard Lutnick said on television this weekend, which was that the army of millions and millions of human beings screwing in little screws to make iPhones, that kind of thing is going to be moving to the U.S.? Is that how the president envisions manufacturing shifting? And if so, how long would that take, roughly?
The president wants to increase manufacturing jobs here in the United States of America, but he's also looking at advanced technologies. He's also looking at AI and emerging fields that are growing around the world that the United States needs to be a leader in as well. So there's an array of diverse jobs, more traditional manufacturing jobs, as you discussed, but also jobs in advanced technologies. The president is looking at all of those. He wants them to come back home.
But iPhones specifically, is that something that he thinks is the kind of technology that can move to the U.S.?
Absolutely. He believes we have the labor, we have the workforce, we have the resources to do it. And as you know, Apple has invested $500 billion here in the United States. So if Apple didn't think the United States could do it, they probably wouldn't have put up that big chunk of change.
All right, right off, she's so full of shit. But scrape the shit off and you can see what's really happening. Trump doesn't want traditional manufacturing to come back because it will fail. American workers aren't going to make iPhones for what China pays their workers. The average iPhone is assembled by young people in China making $1.25 an hour. And oh yeah, they're killing themselves. I mean, literally killing themselves.
Rarely does the world's biggest supplier of electronic and computer parts open up to the outside world. Foxconn, best known as the maker of Apple's iPhone and iPad, is obsessive about secrecy and security. This complex is spread over less than a square mile, and 300,000 mostly young workers from the countryside live, sleep, and work here.
And this could be their first job away from home, right?
Most of them, this first job.
And a growing number of these workers are either killing themselves or trying to. Workers spend long hours on the assembly line, not only supplying parts for Apple, but also for tech giants Dell, Hewlett-Packard and Nokia. But critics say that's not the whole story.
They wake up, they have breakfast, they go to work, they work a solid shift, they come back to their dormitory, they sleep. It's a very dehumanizing place, and the workers are little more than the machines there.
Employees live in dormitories 8 to a room, common for factories in China. Often roommates, though, will not know each other's name.
Trump knows this won't work here. Americans won't work long hours in factories. Well, undocumented Americans will, but we're sending them to Salvadoran prisons. So who will pick the fruit? Who will pluck dead fowl on a Mississippi chicken farm for $30 a day? Your snotty 20-year-old?
It's like, ugh.
Trump hates workers. Remember this?
And you know, it's going to lead to great things. A lot of people don't give. I know a lot about overtime. I'd hated to give overtime. I hated it. I'd get other people, I shouldn't say this, but I'd get other people in, I wouldn't pay. I hated.
Fat Donnie wants billionaires to use robots. His commerce secretary said it out loud.
The country is focused on, you realize trillions of dollars of factories are going to be built in America. That's huge GDP. The factories being built in America are huge.
That takes
GDP.
years, and you've said that robots are going to fill those jobs. So those aren't union
it's really automated
jobs.
It's automated factories.
So the truth is this, if Apple is forced back to the US, it won't be Timmy and Skippy putting screws together for iPhones. And it won't be Juan or Maria either. Apple will use robot AI technology that hasn't yet been invented, but you know they're working on it. So with these tariffs and iPhones that cost, say, $1,000, they'll be as high as $4,000.
Take a look at Apple. Company shares down about 20% over the past 3 trading days. So just when you look at Apple, that wipes out about $640 billion in market cap. It's a stunning number. The context around it the other day, we were saying, look, that's more than Walmart has ever been worth in its entire existence. It's the largest non-governmental employer in the United States, Walmart, and Apple has lost that value in a few days. Veteran tech analyst Dan Ives is here with me now. He says Apple right now is in the eye of the tariff storm, a Category 5 hurricane. Trump's tariffs likely to triple the price of an iPhone, according to his analysis, as Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick claims that this will all benefit American workers who will make those iPhones.
armies of millions of people. Well, remember, the army of millions and millions of human beings screwing in little screws to make iPhones. That kind of thing is going to come to America. It's going to be automated, and great Americans, the trade craft of America, is going to fix them, is going to work on them.
All right, Dan Ives is out front now. He's the global head of tech research for Wedbush Securities. Dan, you've covered tech stocks on Wall Street for 25 years. That means you've been through the dot-com bubble, you've been through COVID, you've been through the Great Recession, you've been through the financial crisis, all of it. Here we are now. Have you seen anything like now?
No, because it's self-inflicted, and in my opinion, it's an economic Armageddon, but especially for the tech industry. I mean, this would take the U.S. tech industry back a decade if these tariffs actually come through. And the reality is that it's all the hearts and lungs of the supply chain is in Asia. And that's why it's U.S. tech that's
So
taking it.
when Howard Lutnick says, as he said there to Margaret Brennan, the little screws to make iPhones, that kind of thing is going to come to America. It's going to be automated, and great Americans, the tradecraft of America, is going to fix them. It's going to work on them.
That would be like me watching an NBA game being like, oh, it's easy to score a basket.
Breaking down like the practical goal of these tariffs and looked at Apple because it really is an excellent example here. You write in this column of yours recently, the dream of the Trump tariffs is to bring high-tech manufacturing to the U.S. The reality could be a bajillion-dollar iPhone.
But as you just heard, it's not only Apple. Almost every U.S. company uses China labor, and it has dramatically improved our economy and in many ways our quality of life. From phones to computers to devices that protect our homes and monitor our health, the relationship with China has been working out for Americans. Maybe not so much for the iPhone employees, but let's examine what's really happening here. Trump says he has the upper hand in these negotiations.
Our country, and don't let some of these politicians go around saying, because I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are.
Classy, you fuck. But if we negotiate tariffs so we can sell more, say, in Cambodia or France, what about the trillions of dollars that's supposed to come flooding in with all these factories returning to the U.S.? See, that's all bullshit. And anyone who's ever taken Economics 101 sees right through Trump's lies. You can't have it both ways. Either you're going to keep the tariffs and wait out the upcoming depression and somehow force these businesses back here, or you're going to allow China to keep making and selling iPhones to your zombie teenager. But first, one more time, here's how tariffs work.
When you put a tariff on a product, it is not that the other country gets taxed per se. It's that the cost gets pushed on to the consumer here in the United States. That's how it works. That is the economics of it. When people ask, what's the math? They say, oh, we're getting taxed. How are we getting taxed? I don't understand. It means that you're going to walk into Walmart, you're going to look at the product, and the price tag for the product that you want is going to cost more, not less. That's it. Yeah. It's that simple. And how former President Trump can speak the way he does about what he thinks the tariff is going to do, the idea that it's going to tax the Chinese or it's going to tax, it's just not the reality of the situation.
So the real threat here is inflation and a recession because everything will go up in price. And since our competitors will put tariffs on American goods, no one will buy our shit and Americans will be laid off. The real bottom line is best exemplified by the iPhone. I dare you to find a person on the street who doesn't have a phone on them, much less walking through traffic with their head buried in it. We won't give these up, and while boomers like man-titties flippantly with our nation's future, if you really want to bury the Republican Party, well, you're on your way. Everything from PlayStations to Nintendo to TVs and smartphones will quickly be too expensive for 25-year-olds, and they won't have to look far to see why.
Kissing my ass.
Well, Trump doesn't have much time. They better start kissing his ass quickly because there is a storm brewing, and at the heart of it is a phone. Call it an iPhone, but I or you will never make it. Who will? Well, meet your new coworker. Oh, and by the way, you're fired.
Are your leaders incompetent, unqualified people compromising national security?
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Terrorizing our communities.
Goddamn right.
Elon! They're eating the dogs.
They had what? Bloated and fat and disgusting.
I like that.
We're a nation that speaks English.
Look, if something like this, that thing start goggling.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yes!
Tick-tock!
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.